Ocean Till the End of Time is the pretty much anticipated sequel to Star Ocean: The Second Story, which was an RPG for the PlayStation. And the actual story in this game is there's a young man by the name of Fate Leingod, which is kind of an interesting name, and he is vacationing with his parents and a childhood friend of his, Sophia. They are attacked. The planet is attacked by these Vendini battleships, which is a hostile race in that particular world. They're forced to evacuate the planet. He ends up getting separated from everyone. He's launched in an escape pod into space, ends up crash landing on a random planet in the middle of nowhere, and he ends up having to figure out what's going on and try to get his bearings and get off without disturbing this world, which is at kind of a medieval level of technology, and they have a whole prime directive thing, and he's not supposed to interfere, so he tries to go about it lawfully. The battle system in Star Ocean Till the End of Time is fully 3D and fully real-time, and is all movement all the time. You can control up to 3 characters on the battlefield at once. You can switch between them freely using the L1 and R1 shoulder buttons really fast. You'll find yourself actually switching between characters quite a bit. It's not a situation where you kind of set your teammates' AI and let them fend for themselves. There's a lot of stuff that can go on pretty fast, and depending on what kind of enemies you're facing, you might have to change your strategy, and so you might have to give them a little bit of direction. They're not going to operate perfectly on their own, so you're going to need to do a little management with them. As far as the kind of attacks you can do either regular attacks, which you hit with the X button, either short or long range, or you can do the strong attacks with the O button at short or long range. The regular attacks will just hit right away. The stronger attacks take a little bit of time for you to actually warm up and smack them. As you go along, your characters will learn battle skills, which is basically a bunch of different kinds of abilities that are particular to each character. You'll have, a bunch of different attacks. You can get abilities that will actually let you do things like perform critical hits. You can also get passive abilities to set on your character to do things like recover HP if you're standing still. Each character only has a certain number of points they can be assigned for those skills, and all the skills have a different point value. So you have to kind of juggle around and figure out what skill you actually need at what time, and kind of plan out what you're going to put in your character and what's going to be most effective. For carrying out most of your attacks, you actually have a bar called Fury Bar, which is underneath your HP and MP. When you have 100% Fury and you're standing still, you can actually block enemy attacks. You'll have a little shield that appears around you when the enemies try to hit you. Can't stand there indefinitely because they can shatter your shield, but you can get some protection that way. You use Fury up when you do your attacks and your battle skills. So you need to watch how much Fury you have at any given time. If you run out, it's just a matter of you standing still and regaining it. It zips back up really fast. But you need to watch what the character's doing, because if you run out of Fury, you're going to go to pull off an attack and it's not going to work. Visually, the game looks real good. The characters have kind of a simple, clean design that's got the anime influence. They have the big eyes, the pointy chins, round cheeks, kind of funky hair, the blue hair. The game's environments look real good. The more open, expansive outdoor environments that you'll be in obviously don't have as much detail as kind of the more confined dungeons and ruins that you'll be running through. But they all look real good. They're colored real well. The towns all have their own kind of little distinctive look to them. There's a nice selection of different areas to go to in the game. Like you go to these old forests with these kind of old trees that come to life, and you go to desert environments, have a nice heat shimmer over it, and you'll visit a lot of different places, and they're all pretty attractive. Star Ocean Till the End of Time has that mix to it. It's a real good game overall. If you don't mind the real big focus on leveling and the long extended dungeons. This game is going to require you to do some work. It's not going to let you kind of run your way around a lot of battles and kind of try to sculpt it to yourself. It requires you to do a lot of fighting and a lot of leveling up your characters. And if you're into that, you know, the other aspects of the game are great. The characters are great. The story's neat. There's, you know, the battle system's real fun. It's fluid. It's kind of frantic and you know, tactical, and always keeps you on your toes. So that's real nice. So, you know, if you're into something that's a little different, that, you know, want to, you know, check out the battle system while still kind of keeping some of those old school RPG kind of traditions, and Star Ocean's definitely something that you want to look at. If you're the kind of person that would rather not be fighting enemies all the time and you rather just want to get to where you go, probably not going to want to play this game, as it's really going to require that of you. So Star Ocean's got this really great battle system and kind of some old RPG conventions all rolled into one. If you know you're into the 3D kind of action-based battle system and you want to try it out, you know, probably give this game a rent if you're not sure about how much time you want to spend leveling. Otherwise, if you're, you know, old school RPGer, you know, doesn't bother you at all spending the time, level up your characters and really devote the time that the game needs to really succeed well at, you know, you'll be fine with Star Ocean till the end of time.